being a fan of Ellsworth Kelly, I always liked his piece, Window, Museum of Modern Art, Paris, which was done in 1949. And all it is a painting of one of the windows in the museum that he was very captivated by. In fact, it said it had distracted him from the paintings because this was more interesting. Subconsciously, I think I picked up on that. Since I've been following his work for so long, and I like minimalist work in general because I think it has a lot in common with music, I was primed to see that same kind of pattern one day. I was in the park outside of the Oak Park Public Library in Oak Park, and I was looking at the top tier of the windows. Here's an image here. Most of it is obscured by trees now, but here is an architectural rendering. Here's the actual blueprint, which I had gotten from the architect. As you can see here, there are 12 panels up on the top layer. And within each of these is some subgrouping of 2, 3, or 4. And I thought that was very musical because the chromatic scale is 12 notes, and 2, 4, and 6, and at some level 9 is a subgroup of that. And also there's a connection with meter in music, which has bar lines. Those bar lines you can subdivide as each panel here is subdivided with a subgroup. So this got me thinking, how can I connect this visual, this architecture, with some kind of a musical element? So I started to make these little graphics for each of the 12 panels. And the first idea was to use 3 colors for each of the subgroups. And then I decided to use a subgrouping of 12, 6. So I came up with 6 colors. And they are this light blue, light green, dark green, tan, orange, and black. And then it repeats. Light blue, light green, dark green, tan, and then into the next panel, orange, black, and so on. In the end, I had 12 pieces for each of the 12 pitches in the chromatic scale, and they ran from C to B. And I'll show you them here in sequence so that you can see them. It's interesting to note that in the end, in the B piece, it ends on black, which is the color 6. So it turned out perfectly. I didn't expect that to happen, but it did. And the reason it did is because I think is because of the symmetry between, or the relationship between 12 and 2, 3, and 4. I think that's why it worked. So I'll show you them here and then show you a few other things. This is how they would look if they were framed and matted. So this is a wall. The digital approximation here is an 11 by 14 frame with a 8 by 10 print. But since these are vector graphics, they can be resized accordingly. So they can be made smaller into a 4 by 6 or much larger, 24 by 36 or 36 by 48, or some aspect ratio of the original. I've also tried other color schemes. One of them was grays. So I took 10 grays from white all the way up to black and then mapped them across the panels. But they don't work out the same way as 12 does. It won't end like it ended here because it's 10. But you could certainly use 3 and 4, a group of 3, or a group of 4 colors. 5 won't work. You could use it, but it won't end right. It won't come back. You wouldn't be able to reverse it in the same way. It's not symmetrical. 7, same thing. 9 does work, I think. I haven't tried it, but I'm thinking it would work because it's a multiple of 3. So I tried grays, and then there was another one that I tried that was black, yellow, and gray, I think. So they can be customized in any color scheme that you want based upon the room that you're going to put it in. And they don't have to be displayed as a chromatic scale as it appears on the piano. So you can group them on a wall, say in groups of 3, or in groups of 4, or in groups of 6. Also, you can use it like music to where you can make chords, quote-unquote chords, from the placement of the images. So you could take C, E, and G, and you'd have a C triad, or you could take D, F, and A and have a minor triad, and so on. Just how you make chords on the piano. So that's something that's interesting to me, particularly because I am a musician. So I look at the world in kind of that system, the 12-tone system, and of course rhythm as well. So this thing for me kind of came together very organically based upon that framework, the way I see the world in terms of symmetry. Music as sound can work asymmetrical as well, because sound without the 12-tone system can be 48, it can be 63, you can divide it any way you want. But it doesn't have the same resonance as it does for music that's 12-tone, that's with an equal temperament. And we've gotten so used to it, so we take it for granted. But if all of a sudden the music that we wrote and heard used a 10 note, a 10 pitch octave, it would be much different. A lot of the intervals would be out of tune. So the one that we chose, 12, has worked well, and there's a lot of beauty in that we don't realize. So this is a way of me trying to combine the two disciplines. If you're interested in ordering prints, as I said before, you can alter the colors of these, and they can be different sizes as well. Another idea I had for these is to print them as tiles. These days, there's so many different materials that you can print on. You can print on wood, print on aluminum, acrylic, all different kinds of materials. The idea I had was to use Velcro and put the Velcro on the back of the tiles, and then have a panel in the back that's Velcro. And then you can place these however you want, like blocks. And it's a good way to teach music as well, at least in an abstract way. Once you understand that it's symmetrical and that chords are made from parts of that symmetry, it'll allow you to, maybe it'll be a door opening to learning music visually. So that's it. If you're interested in purchasing prints, I'll put a link in the description. And please contact me or write a comment if you have any questions.